Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear sisters, and this is the lesson number 11, and we will continue the lesson about the heavy and the light letters. We already took the letters which are always heavy, khussa, ضغط, قذ. We took two letters which are sometimes heavy, sometimes not, the lam for the word Allah and the alif for the mad. And now we're talking about the ra, which is the third of them. The ra has many cases. The first of them when it is always heavy. So now we'll study the first case when the ra is always heavy. The first case when it is having fatha, as I said before. For example, rahim, ra, we're saying ra and we're not saying re, we're saying ra, rahim. That is because the ra is having fatha. The second case, if it is sakin and preceded by fatha. Sakin and preceded by fatha. Like وَفَجَّرْنَا فَجَّرُ جَارُ. So the ra itself is not having movement, it is second, but it is preceded by fatha on the jim. فَجَّرْ فَجَّرْ It's not فَجَّرْ, but فَجَّرْ. The third case, if it is second and preceded by second and preceded by fatha. Like for example, Al-Anhar. Here the ra is second, preceded by second also, which is the alif, and preceded by fatha on the ha. Al-Anhar. The fourth case is when it is having dhamma. Like Ruziqu. The ra itself is having dhamma. Ru, and we're not saying ru, but we're saying ru, lifting the posterior of the tongue. Also, when it is second and preceded by dhamma, like yashkur, yashkur. We are not saying yashkur, but saying yashkur, kor. The ra is heavy. So here, the ra is itself is second and preceded by dhamma on the kaf. Yashkur. The same like we said before, if it is second, preceded by dhamma, like al-umur. Here we have the ra second, the waw second, but the meme is having dhamma. So in this case, the ra is going to be heavy. Al-umur. Yeah. So what the cases we said now, when it is having fatha, the ra itself is having fatha. When it is second preceded by fatha, when it is second preceded by second and preceded by fatha, when it is having dhamma, when it is second preceded by dhamma, when it is second preceded by dhamma. The seventh case is when it is preceded by kasra but followed by a heavy letter. Preceded by kasra but followed by a heavy letter, and these are known words in the Quran. Okay, like qirtas. Here we have the ra preceded by kasra, but it is followed by a heavy letter, so that it will make it difficult to pronounce the ra as light because it's preceded already by a heavy letter. So that's why we are making it heavy. We're saying qirtas. I'm not saying qirtas. We're not saying qir, but we're saying qirtas. Mirsada, the second word. Irsada, the third word. La bil mirsad, the fourth word. And firqah. Okay, so in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, we're gonna apply as heavy ra because it is followed by heavy letter. If it is preceded, the last case, if it is preceded by hamzatul wasli, when it's preceded by hamzatul wasli, like irji'i, like alladhi irtada, like in irtabtum, irji'i ila rabbiki. Here the ra is preceded by hamzatul wasl, And Hamzatul Wasl, as you know, is not pronounced while connecting. It is only pronounced while starting the word. You see it in the Mus'haf like Alif and having small Sad on it. Irji'i. Here the Ra is going to be heavy when it is coming after this Hamza, Hamzatul Wasl. Okay, these are the cases we apply the heavy Ra all the time. If you find one of these cases, so the Ra is going to be heavy. So, when do we have it as light? The first case, now we'll be talking about the Ra when it is going to be all the time light. Okay, the first case when it is having Kasra itself, like Laylatul Qadri. So the Ra is having Kasra here, so the Ra is going to be light. Al-Qadri, ri. The sound of it is thin and weak. Al-Qadri. It's not Qadri, ri, no. Al-Qadri, ri. The second case when it is second and preceded by Kasra. Second and preceded by Kasra, like Fir'aun. So the Ra itself is second but preceded by Kasra. Fir'aun. The third case when it is second, preceded by Kasra, like Hijr. Here the Ra is second and preceded by second, the Jim, and preceded by Kasra on the Ha. Hijr. The fourth case if it is second and coming after it, coming before it, the Ya for the Mad, like Khabir. And also the Ya for the soft lengthening, like Khair. Okay, so if it is preceded by Ya for the Mad, normal Mad or Mad with present Sukoon, or preceded by the Ya for the soft lengthening, so the Ra is gonna be light. Khabir. I'm not saying Khabir, no, Khabir. Light Ra. Khair, like that. The last case having the Ra as light is on the word Majreha, and this word is found on Surah Hud. Originally it was pronounced as Majraha, as heavy Ra, but because we have a special rule here in this word, which is that the Fatha on the Ra is gonna be pronounced between the Fatha and the Kasra, like this, Majri instead of Majra. So the Fatha is not gonna be pronounced clearly, it's gonna be between the Fatha and the Kasra. So that's why we are not gonna be pronouncing the Ra as heavy. It's gonna be pronounced as light, saying Majri. I'm not gonna say Majra, it's gonna be Majri. We call this Imala, and this is only found on this word in the Quran for the Hafs recitation. Now we took the cases when the Ra is all the time heavy and the cases when the Ra is all the time light. Do we have any other cases? Yes, we have cases that the Ra may be done as heavy and may be done as light, and both are accepted. And this is in some words in the Quran that we'll be discussing it now, inshallah.